So we'll need a chair today for accessible yoga practice for strength. We'll explore some postures seated and invite in pockets of fire and strength. So stable chair placed on a mat. You may need a bolster here, but I'm going to put it to the side so you can see my feet, a strap, 1 or 2 yoga blocks, and a blanket. Let's start off centering. So you could sit back in the chair or in the middle of the chair, placing your feet on the ground or on a bolster, or 2 blocks as well. Hands resting wherever you like, and soft gaze or closing your eyes. Begin to drop down into your body, feeling the soles of your feet on the ground. Begin to notice the sounds around you, the external sounds, what's going on around you, again, without trying to fix or change. You may hear people outside your window, cars, possibly hearing the ticking of a clock in your home. Noticing and perceiving and seeing with your body. Now let's bring it inward. Noticing your breath, noticing how your breath is moving within you without trying to change it, without trying to manipulate. Noticing where your breath is more easeful. Noticing the parts of your body that your breath is supporting and moving. Feeling your breath. Now begin to hear and listen to your breath. So it may be helpful to take your hands to your ears, cupping your ears with your hands as you listen to the oceanic qualities of your breath. Two more full but not forceful cycles of breath. And you could slowly release your hands to your thighs. Noticing the support of the ground beneath your feet. And noticing the support of the chair underneath your legs, your sitting bones, maybe your back body. Right? Setting the intention to be supported. Allow yourself to be supported, yielding to the chair, yielding to the earth. Right? Allow this support to create more spaciousness, to invite more space and direction, space within your body, space in between your ears. And allow this sense of support and space to inform your movements on the mat and hopefully off the mat as well. Slowly open your eyes if they're closed. Take your hands to the outer edges of the chair and you could scoot yourself halfway forward. Somewhere where your feet, your ankles are directly below your knees. Again, you could place both your feet on blocks or a bolster or a couple of rolled blankets. Reach your arms out in front. So first, free up our shoulder blades. Squeeze the arms towards straight and light fists. And begin to alternate circles with your shoulder blades. So you're going to free up the back body. All right, so as one shoulder blade moves back, the other comes forward, and as one lifts, the other one lowers. For 3, 2, and 1. Reverse it. Feel like on a train or a bicycle. Keep on moving best you can, maintaining an awareness of your core, awareness of your sitting bones in the chair, and feet on the ground for 3, 2, and 1. And release. Pause and notice that buzz that you created with your shoulder blades. I feel a little fire there in the shoulders. Let's add the strap. So you could double up the strap, or you could keep it long. If you have the metal part, it may be a little annoying. So I like to hold on to the metal part or double it up. Hold on to the strap about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit wider. We're not going to do shoulder flossing quite yet, but if you need to place your hands wider, go for it. Lift the arms up, let the shoulder blades lift up, and press down to the feet, not forcefully, but as a gesture of grounding. And as you exhale, keep pulling the strap apart now and lower the strap to your thighs, your knees. We'll keep doing that, lifting on up, and you can lift your gaze as long as it's fair and friendly for your neck. So you keep the back neck nice and long. So the inhale, root down and rising up. This is our extended mountain pose. And as you exhale, lowering down. Keep on keeping on like that. Let's do 4 more times. Rhythm of your own breath. 4 more times in your extended mountain pose, supported by not only the ground, but also the chair. After your last round, we'll meet with the strap straight out in front. Bend the elbows out wide. So the elbow creases will face each other. The elbows will turn out, elbow creases in towards each other. Bring your shoulder blades onto your back. And then from there, scoop the elbows in towards each other. So down towards the ground. And then from there, keep that, reach your knuckles forward as you straighten your arms. And we'll do that 2 to 3 more times. So elbow creases turn to face each other, elbow straight out, shoulder blades onto your back. Keep your shoulder blades onto your back, scooping the elbows in towards each other, and then reach forward. And as you reach forward, sides the waist, ribs back. 1 more time. Very slight bend in the elbows, shoulder blades onto your back. Scoop the elbows in and keep that. Extend the arms in front. Nice, reach up. Separate your hands a little bit wider, and we'll side bend. Side bend to your one side. I'll let you pick what side you want. Keep heavy in the opposite side sitting bone. So we're laterally flexing. This is an area that tends to become constricted, either from sitting or modern day linear living. Allow the breath to move the spaces and places that need a little extra more attention. And come back on up. And now to the other side. So we're laterally flexing, keeping the sitting bones heavy. Allow the breath to acknowledge and explore places and spaces that have not been explored in a while. Breathing here. So you're finding the fullness and the supportiveness of the chair from the outside and from your breath from the inside. All the way back on up. Begin to lower the arms behind you just a little bit until you meet that point of resistance. If you find your breath challenging, then lift the rope up or the strap up a little bit higher. And maintain a levelness with your chin. So make sure the chin's not dropping or reaching to the sky. Top of the throat back, and breathe here. Shoulder blades onto your back. Energetically pull the strap apart. That might create a little bit more sensation and openness through the chest for another 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly releasing the strap. Hold on to the strap with your right hand and take the strap around your left shoulder behind you. So I'll turn to the side so you can see. Bend your right elbow and take your left hand to assist your right elbow up without the ribs popping out like mine like to do. And then you'll take your left arm to the side, flip the palm backwards, bend the left elbow, and hold on to the strap. Now energetically pull the strap apart with your hands. Lift the back of your heart, but keep the belly and ribs soft to the back body. Chin level to the ground, so slight tucking of the chin and roof of the mouth back, breathing here. All right, bringing it down to your feet, to your seat. With each inhale, you're grounding. And with each exhale, you're lengthening as you energetically pull your hands or the strap apart for 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly and mindfully releasing, and we'll switch sides. Hold on to the strap with your left hand around your right shoulder and grab onto the strap. This side might be a completely different story. So we're not trying to force any sort of form. We're not trying to achieve the deepest. We're trying to architecturally create space to house the abundance of your breath. So energetically pull the strap apart with your hands while you maintain this sense of groundedness through the feet, accepting the support of the ground. Always checking in with your breath. That's your internal compass, letting you know that you are meeting yourself where you are right here, right now. Just like the ground is meeting your feet, just like the chair is meeting your seat. You could always have a soft gaze or close your eyes. For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly and mindfully releasing. Place the strap to the side and exchange the strap for a block. Some more awakening of the upper body. So you're gonna hold on to the block in between your hands, elbows wide, the long way, close to your chest. Again, grounded through the feet and the sitting bones supported by the chair, length through the spine. Press and squeeze the block. Broaden through your collarbones, shoulder blades onto the back. Now keep squeezing the block. As you straighten the arms, reach the block forward. Keep squeezing the block as you squeeze your arms towards straight. And now we'll alternate. So inhale, bring the block into your chest, squeeze, broaden through the collarbones. And as you exhale, keep squeezing the block and straighten the arms forward. 3 to 4 more times like that. 3 to 4 more times. Reaching. Be mindful of your breath and your face. As we explore pockets of strengthening, maintain a soft face practice. This last round, reach the block forward and stay here and breathe. Belly and ribs soften to the back body. As you accept the support of your breath, squeeze in the block. Keep squeezing the block for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully releasing and place the block to the side. We're going to place it to the right side for a little bit later. Okay, some lower body explorations. If you're sitting in a chair for a long time or doing chair yoga, it could be difficult to address the mobility of the hips. So we've done this on the mat before. We'll do it on the chair, a little tushy scoot forward and back. So hold on to the outer edges of your chair, and you're gonna scoot 1 hip at a time all the way to the back of the chair. And then all the way forward, don't fall off, and then back. This could be a great, all of these movement explorations on the chair could be great movement snacks at the office, but this one is pretty accessible and effective for Getting some circulation back into your hips and mobility with only the chair. 2 more times. Forward and back. And let's meet center. We meet center. You can keep holding on to the outer edges of the chair for extra support, or hands rest wherever you like. Lifting up the right heel and lower it down. And the left. A couple of times like that, alternating lifting the heel. Also sitting in the chair. If you're desk bound, sometimes makes the back body fall asleep. So this is also something that you can do at your desk, at the computer. Now both heels, or stick with that. For another 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. We'll walk a little bit now with support. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh, and using your hands for support to bring the right knee in towards your chest, and then mindfully let your right foot flop to the ground. Just let it drop. And then the other side, lifting up and flop. Do that one more time each side. So this flopping down adds a little extra pressure to the sole of the foot to increase circulation. Now with the assistance of the hands, or you can lift up without the hands and flop your feet down. Nice way to wake up your feet and increase circulation. For another 4, 3, maybe wake up your neighbors downstairs. 2, and 1. Find your stillness and find your bolster. Place the bolster in front of your feet. You could hold on to the outer edge of the mat. You're either in the middle of outer edge of your chair, either towards the front or more to the middle. Extend your right leg in front of you. So this is a variation of boat pose, but on the chair. Squeeze your right leg towards straight, and then using the strength and the support of your hip flexors, your quads, your psoas, lift the right leg up to hover. So active hip flexion here. I know we all love active hip flexion. Stay here or reach your right arm forward. Keep the left foot on the ground. Stay here or reach your left arm forward. And you can lean back as much as helps you find a comfortable stance. Full but not forceful breaths here. For another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully as you can, releasing one at a time, or bring the foot down and feet down. Let's switch sides. Bring your left foot forward, grounding through your right foot. Lengthen through the spine, flex your left ankle, and squeezing your left leg towards straight. Lift your left leg to hover. You're going to stay here or reach your left arm forward or your right arm forward, leaning back if you need to. This is a chair variation of boat pose. Breathing here. The drama tends to bubble up when we forget to breathe. For another 4, 3, 2, and 1. One hand down, other, and then lower the foot down. Both feet on the ground, a variation of chair pose with chair. This is a nice awareness practice to how one may lower down and lift up or lift out of a chair. So hands stay to the outer edges of the chair. Lean the upper body forward, maybe a tiny bit, 45-degree angle, and then bring weight into the heels, and then lift your bottom up to hover for 3, 2, 1, and slowly lower down and lift back on up. We'll do that about 4 to 5 more times. Lean the upper body forward, press to the heels, lift the bottom for 4, 3, 2, and 1. With control, lower down. So don't collapse into the chair. About 2 to 3 more times. So you're hinging forward, a little bit forward, pressing through the feet. Wake up your glutes for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower 1 to 2 more, one more. Let's do one more. Lifting up for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lowering it down. Grab onto a block. Place the block either medium side or long side in between your inner knees. You can also use a rolled towel or books for this, even a Pilates ball. And keep the ankles for this variation below your knees, hands wherever you like, or the sides of the chair. And begin to squeeze the block with your inner thighs. But try not to squeeze your face at the same time. Squeezing the block. So we're using the block to help us recruit our inner thighs and our pelvic floor and our core. For another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Now we'll do the opposite block to the side. Again, on the right side. Take your hands to your outer knees. Keep your feet rooted into the ground. Create resistance with your hands and your knees, and press your knees into your hands. So before we recruited inner thighs, and now we're recruiting the outer hips. Breathing here. You squeeze those arms towards straight, if that's the length of your arms, for 3. Resisting 2. Softness in the face and breathing. And 1. Slowly releasing. Let's find our tree pose and our chair pose in our chair. So the block, however tall you may need, I'm going to do medium side to the right of the chair. But you have an option also not to use the block. It depends on the length of your legs, your body proportions. So bend my right knee to the right. I place the ball of my right foot on the block of the ground, and it can be helpful and a little extra sense of support to have your right heel supported by the leg of the chair. So this will be a variation of chair pose. Keep pressing down through your left foot and bring your hands to your heart, or overlap your hands in front of your heart. And pressing the left foot down and the ball, the right foot down. And as you press the right heel into the leg of the chair, you might feel the outer thighs, the external rotators of your right side, your right hip turn on. You can lean the weight slightly forward, but stay nice and grounded through that left foot. Stay here, or reach the arms up, or you could open the arms out, maybe cactus arms, or keep the arms in a wide V. Breathing here for 4, 3, you could gaze up if you want, 2, and 1. Bring your hands together, bring it through heart center, and slowly releasing. You could take the block to the other side. If you have 2 blocks, you could keep 1 on each side. Again, always an option. If you need, you could also place a block, depending on your body proportions, again, underneath your right foot. If not, ball of the left foot on the chair, left heel on the leg of the chair, hands to your heart. Press the 2 together, right, using the ground underneath your right foot, the block or the ground underneath your left foot, leg of the chair, left heel, sitting bones heavy, getting nice and rooted and accepting support. Root down, rise up. You can shift the weight, upper body slightly forward. You can open the arms. You can look up. It could be a completely different tree on this side. And breathe. For another 4. Rooting down on the inhale. 2, exhale, finding length, support, finding space and direction. And slowly releasing, hands to your heart, bring it through heart center, and slowly releasing, feet forward. A variation of triangle pose, bring the feet out wide so they may be off the mat. Heels will be in and toes out. Reach your right arm up. And as you exhale, right forearm to right thigh. You're gonna lean to the right side, reach your left arm up. Now find your feet, find your sitting bones, and now side bend to the right. And as you breathe into the spaces in between your ribs, especially left side, begin to turn your ribs to the left without the right shoulder going with you. Keep that right shoulder back. Breathe in here. And keeping the back of the skull nice and long, back of the neck long. That means you may be dropping your chin more towards your chest. On your next inhale, rooting down and come all the way back on up. Finding your center, pausing, noticing any shifts or changes. And now reach the left arm up, left forearm to left thigh. Reach your right arm up and side bend to your left. Find your feet, find your sitting bones, find your breath. Maintaining length on both sides of the body, begin to spin your ribs to the right towards the ceiling without the left shoulder collapsing in. So maintain left shoulder blade towards the back of the heart. And again, finding a gaze that's fair and friendly for the back of your neck. The back of the neck nice and long. Relaxing your face and your eyeballs. For another 3, accepting the support. 2, spaciousness on all sides of your body. And 1, slowly make your way on up to center. Okay, toe heel your feet together. We'll now explore a variation of Warrior 1 on the chair. Having a block nearby, placing the block, it could be taller. I'm going to place it on the medium or the low side. Turn to your right and scoot a little bit more to the front. So only your right hip is on the chair. Only your right hip's on the chair. And left knee below the left hip on a block. If you have longer legs, you may need to sit up on a bolster or a layer or 2 of blankets, holding onto the chair with your right hand for support. Okay, so right knee about over right ankle, holding onto the chair with your right hand for support. You could even slide the left knee back if that is something your body is asking for, but make sure you're not dumping into your lower back, lifting the frontal hip points. Find your feet. Again, back toes could be curled under or top of the feet. Stay here or hands to your front thigh. Stay here, or you could reach your arms up, interlace the fingers, or any other arm variation you like. Now tone the underside, the bottom fibers of your left glute, and press your left knee down into the ground and breathe. Accepting the support again of the chair and the props and your breath. For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your hands to heart center. Warrior, reverse warrior variation. Left hand behind your left thigh. Reach your right arm forward, flip the right palm up, and you can lift up and slide the left hand down and breathe here. But make sure it's a slight back bend over a high bar, not a low bar. So find your feet and breathe. Gaze could be wherever is comfortable for your neck. For another 3, 2, and 1. Come back on up. Warrior 2 variation. Right, so we need to have a little bit of flexibility as we explore this variation of Warrior 2. Not flexibility physically, but rather allowing ourselves to find just the right place. You might need to scoot your right foot a little bit more forward, or right toes turn a little bit more forward. Arms to the side so that your right arm is directly over your right thigh. And notice what's going on with this left hip, especially to be sensitive to SI issues. There may still be a slight more internal rotation of the left hip or somewhere in between. Okay, so we're not trying to open that left hip as far as it can go. Somewhere in between. And gaze past the middle finger of your right hand. Soft gaze or forward, wherever is comfortable for you. Comfortable gaze. Another couple cycles of breath. Another 3, 2, and 1. Mindfully as you can, releasing. Let's switch sides slowly, slowly. Come on out. We'll turn to the left side. Block on the ground, more to the right. Right knee on the block. Left hip on the chair. Hold on with your left hand. Find your feet. Find your right knee. Press down. Stay here or hands on thighs. Hands could be forward or interlace your hands. Or the arms could be wide like we did for tree pose. Right, you're internally rotating or you're firming that outer right hip in. Breathing here. Accepting support. What does it feel like to accept support? How can we accept support to be strong in a sustainable way? For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing, hands to the heart. Right hand to the back of your right thigh. Reach your left arm forward, flip the left palm up, finding your reverse warrior here. You might not even be bending backwards so much. A lifting of the back of the heart as you ground through your lower body, gazing where is comfortable for your neck. For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Let's find our warrior 2. You may need to scoot more to the middle of the chair. Adjust your bottom knee, adjust your left foot. Extend out through your arms. Be mindful of the placement of your hips. Right, so you're honoring, maintaining integrity of your 2 halves of your pelvis and your sacrum. You can have a soft gaze past the middle fingers of your front hand or center. Finding your sense of support in the feet as you invite in a sense of spaciousness and then direction, all sides of your body. Front, back, sides, expansive yet connected to the center for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing, finding your center. Okay. Pause and notice if you want in this mountain pose on our chairs. You can rest your hands to your thighs. It'd be nice to pause and reflect, feeling the effects of your efforts. Slowly open your eyes or stay there as long as you need. A variation of eagle pose. We're going to first slide your right foot to the center, so more to the left, and place the block on the right side of your foot. Okay. And again, you could be in the middle of the chair or slightly more to the front. I'm going to readjust, so find a comfortable, supportive stance. And cross your left knee over your right knee. You can play with the placement of the block. And it can even be taller if that's what you need. So those are some options there. It could be medium. I'm going to place mine on the medium. And some options with the arms. Reach the arms up. Inhale. And as you exhale, left elbow underneath the right. Give yourself a hug. We'll stay here a couple of cycles of breath. Shift the weight slightly forward enough that you are grounded through your right foot. Allow yourself for a moment or two to soften in your own embrace. You can stay here or back of the hands together or cross at the wrist palms. Breathing here, back of the skull long. If you want to play with your vision, you begin to widen your vision past your fingertips, past your hands, and bring your vision to your fingertips. And do that a couple more times. It's nice to look at the big picture beyond in the horizon to balance out any computer work you've been doing, focusing on the screen. Too much time on the screen can invoke a stress-like response to that focused vision. And then we'll slowly come on up, release the wings, release your arms. Hands could be to the side of the chair for support and uncross your legs. Switching sides. Left foot to the center, block to the outside, left side of your left foot, crossing right knee over left. Allow the block or the ground to rise up to meet your right foot. Reach your arms up, inhale and exhale, right elbow underneath left. Give yourself a big hug. Play around with the placement of your hands, shoulders, or slightly below your shoulders towards your shoulder blades. Might soften the inner shoulders away from the base of the neck. Take a few glorious moments to soften into your own embrace as a reminder to be gentle with yourself. So we can find a focus in our eagle pose that comes from a place of soft centeredness or not trying too hard. Right? We want to have this background of sweetness. Stay here or back of the hands together or crossing at the wrist. And you don't have to, if you're doing the hug, you could find a point that's halfway between the edge of the room or the horizon to focus on if you're not using your fingertips. A couple cycles of breath here. So lean, shifting the weight, upper body forward enough that you feel grounded through that left foot. So focus beyond your fingertips or whatever objects nearby and to the closer objects. About 3, 4 more times. One more. Now slowly make your way on up to center. Release your wings. Hands to the sides of the chair for support. Uncross your legs. Block to the side. Let's turn to the right side of the chair. Hold on to the chair with your right hand. And again, you may need to use a couple of blankets underneath. Cross your right knee over your left knee. And if you need to, use a block again to meet your right foot. And place both hands now onto the chair as we turn to the right. And I'm going to change the direction here. And instead, for this variation, instead of using our hands as leverage, like to pull ourselves into the twist, have a lightness of the hands. You can press the hands gently down and the left foot down to find length through the spine and sides of the body. And now use your rotational muscles to turn your rib cage and your heart to the right, if you like. Allow the continuation of the hips and the rib cage and the shoulders to invite your head and your gaze to the right over your right shoulder. So we're starting the rotation. You can think of grounding through the feet and the rotation of the ribs and the shoulders invite the rotation of your head. So you can maintain this rotation even if you lift your hands away from the chair. Breathing here for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your chin to center of the chest and make your way to center. Let's switch sides. Turn now to the left. And crossing your left knee away from the chair. So left knee over right knee. Again, the bottom foot may need a block and also the left foot. Take your hands to the back of the chair. Press down to lift up. And not using your hands. Use the rotational muscles to initiate the twist to the left and to support. And then after the ribs turn and after the shoulders turn, maybe inviting the head to follow the gaze of your eyeballs past your left shoulder. If you want, you can lift the hands up. Fullness and supportiveness of your breath. Accepting support, inviting space, and directing your life force to all sides of your body. For another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bringing your chin to the center of the chest as you make your way to center. Now we will find a supported child's pose in our chair pose. You'll need to start off with a block and 1 bolster or couch cushion. You'll place the feet out wide. And as you place your feet out wide, you'll take the block just in front of you into the center in between your feet, and then place the bolster on top of the block. It might take a little time to find the sweet spot. I'm gonna fix this. Okay. So you'll take a bolster on top and find a comfortable placement for your head, and the forearms can rest on your thighs. And you can stay here for a good couple cycles of breath. Allow any areas that are holding unnecessary tension to soften with the cycle, each cycle of breath. If you need a little bit more, you can take the block out from underneath and rest here. That will lower you down a little bit further to the ground. Noticing what's going on with the base of the skull and the base of your neck. Relaxing the face, relaxing your shoulders. Noticing if you're holding on to anything that's not yours to carry. Noticing where you're holding on, where you don't need to hold on. Can you accept support and invite more spaciousness throughout your body? Support the direction of your breath to make space for the life force flowing within you, to make more room for you, to support you and to make space for you. Relax your hands. About 2 more full, again, not forceful, cycles of breath, changing the angle, the bolster, however you need. And then slowly make your way on out, pressing down through the feet. Come on up, slowly, slowly. We'll meet with the bolster in front of us like we did for the boat variations. And then for this variation and hip opener, one option is to place a block on your bolster. It's a variation of a pigeon pose, and rest. So extra rotation comes from the hip, not the knee. Resting your, I'll do right side, right foot. This is a variation of pigeon pose, or without the block, or if it's accessible, right ankle over left thigh. Finding the position that meets you where you are. You could stay here or shift the weight slightly forward. And breathe. Unhurried and unrushed. Softening your face. Fullness of breath. And then slowly releasing. Slowly switching sides. Again, the option of the block. This side might be different. So may ask for different support. Different support is needed in different situations and shapes. Or to without the block on the bolster, or crossing over your right thigh, unhurried, unrushed. You can lean forward as far that is good for you. Always checking in with your breath. Right? If your breath is not easeful, you're not breathing, or it becomes too labored, get off at the bus stop before. Your breath is giving you a message of which direction to go today. Another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing. Both feet on the ground. Noticing what you notice. Eyes could be closed. Now let's grab on to our blankets. We'll use a blanket, chair, and bolster for support in resting pose. So we'll take the blanket, and there's a couple ways to do this. You can open up wider or keep it here, and roll one side. I'll show you. We're going to create a nice, hopefully nice little neck roll. Nice little neck roll to support us in our Shavasana. So you have a couple options. You can keep the feet on the ground or extend the legs forward on a bolster if that feels good to you. And so I don't cut off the sound for the mic. You could bring the blanket across so that both sides, all sides of your neck are supported in your resting pose. Right, the blanket's longer, it will wrap around more easily. You can even slide your tush more forward towards the edge of the mat and adjust your bolster however you need. Adjust the blanket however you need so that your head and neck are supported. You can interlace your fingers, rest them in your lap. And we'll take our Shavasana here. First, a good couple cycles of breath. Conscious lengthening the duration of your out breath. Begin to lengthen the duration of your out breath. Anywhere between 6 to 8. If this feels more comfortable, you can keep the knees bent and slide to the back of the chair. Slowly on your next round or your last lengthening of your out breath. Letting go of the breath, allow the breath to breathe you, accepting the support again of the ground beneath your feet, the chair beneath your seat, and the natural rhythm of your breath to support you from the inside out. Let's do a quick body scan, noticing anywhere in your body where you are holding any unnecessary tension, starting with your feet. Can you allow the space in between your toes and the joints of your feet to soften? The lower legs, the knees, the upper legs, your hips, the creases between your thigh bone and your pelvis, your pelvic bowl, your belly, your ribs, your chest, the back of your ribs, the upper back, your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands, palms, fingers. Softening the tips of your fingers. Base of the neck, base of the skull, front of the throat, jaw, mouth, tongue, cheeks, nose, eyes, ears, front, middle, back of the brain, back of the skull, top of the head. We'll end our practice here today, staying as long as you need. If not, stay as you are or take a moment to overlap your hands on top of your heart. Thinking of one thing in your life that you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. End together with one cleansing breath. First, empty out all the air from your lungs. Inhale through your nose. Exhale. As always, gratitude for practicing together. May it all be a benefit to us and everybody else around us. Namaste.